In 1803, the United States paid France $15 million for the Louisiana Territory in what many call one of the best land deals of all time. Overnight, the young nation doubled in size. The purchase included land stretching from the Gulf of Mexico up to Canada and from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains. As the French flag came down and the stars and stripes went up, Americans celebrated with pride, while many of the French colonists who had lived in the region for generations stood silently, unsure of what the future would bring. For them, this was home, and now it belonged to someone else. Some wondered what to do next. Should they leave and return to Europe? Should they move to Canada? Or should they stay and accept this new identity as citizens of a growing America? French had been present in the Mississippi Basin since 1682 when the explorer René Robert Cavelier de la Salle claimed the region for France. He named the vast territory Louisiana in honor of King Louis XIV. The land was enormous, covering more than 2 million square kilometers. It stretched from the Great Lakes in the north all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico and from the Appalachian Mountains to the Rockies. This was not just a colony but a massive section of North America that gave France strategic and economic advantages. Louisiana remained under French control from 1682 until 1762 and then again briefly. From 1801 to 1803, before it was sold to the United States, it was not even the first time Louisiana had changed hands. After the 7 Years' War, which began in 1756 and drew in almost every European power, France found itself battered and weakened. Britain and France fought fiercely over their colonies in the Americas, while Spain was pulled into the conflict as well. Britain's superior navy helped it win decisive victories. When the war ended in 1763, the map of North America looked very different. France was forced to hand over Quebec and all land east of the Mississippi to Britain, while Spain had to give up Florida. To make up for Spain's loss, France secretly transferred Louisiana to its ally under the Treaty of Fontainebleau in 1762. For the next 4 decades, Louisiana was under Spanish control. For French colonists in places like New Orleans, this shift in power was unsettling. They remained loyal to the French crown and to their culture, even while Spanish officials governed them. French remained the official language, and French customs dominated daily life. Spain had little interest in spending money or manpower to fully develop or manage the massive territory. This half-hearted rule frustrated settlers who felt increasingly neglected. Meanwhile, America looked hungrily toward New Orleans and its port, which was vital for trade. A third of American goods passed through the city. At first, Spain denied the Americans access, but eventually allowed limited use of the port. Still, Spain was growing weary of holding Louisiana, especially as European wars drained its resources. In 1800, Spain returned Louisiana to France through the Treaty of San Ildefonso. French colonists in the Mississippi Valley were thrilled at first to be back under the crown, but their excitement faded quickly. France was once again heading toward war with Britain, and Napoleon Bonaparte had little time or interest in rebuilding an overseas empire. A revolt in Haiti had already cost France dearly, and Napoleon realized the Louisiana Territory might be more trouble than it was worth. When Thomas Jefferson sent American diplomats to negotiate for New Orleans, Napoleon stunned them by offering the entire territory. For $15 million, America gained not just the port but a vast stretch of fertile land running up to Canada. It was a bargain that secured the future of American expansion. For the French settlers, however, this left them in limbo. With the sale, their ties to the crown were severed. They had to choose whether to remain in Louisiana as American citizens, to move west in search of new opportunities to resettle in Canada, or to return to France. Each choice came with uncertainty. Some felt disillusioned and tired of the hardships that had always accompanied life in Louisiana. Much of the land had been difficult to farm. In the early days, many of the colonists had been convicts or desperate souls sent by France to populate the territory. Farming was grueling, and survival often depended on help from Native Americans, who traded food and furs. The fur trade in particular was lucrative, and became a central part of the French economy in North America. Yet relations with the natives were not always peaceful. In 1729, tensions boiled over when French settlers cleared sacred land belonging to the Natchez tribe to build a tobacco plantation. The Natchez responded with violence, massacring over 200 colonists. The French retaliated, brutally wiping out much of the tribe and straining relations with other native groups. Incidents like this revealed how fragile life in Louisiana could be. Still, many French colonists remained hopeful about the future. New Orleans, with its port and cultural vibrancy, promised opportunities. Industries like sugar and cotton were beginning to thrive, and many chose to stay. Others moved north to Quebec, where French culture remained strong despite British control. Returning to France was the least attractive option. The homeland was mired in wars with Britain and had lost much of its empire. The 7 Years' War had stripped France of nearly all its North American territory, as well as its influence in India. The nation was struggling financially and politically. America, by contrast, was young, energetic, and growing fast. Many French settlers saw more promise in staying and adapting than in returning to Europe. Some moved toward St. Louis, a city founded by French settlers on the Mississippi River. St. Louis became a vital trading hub thanks to its location, and many French traders established themselves there after the Louisiana Purchase. Others moved further north into the Midwest, creating settlements along the upper Mississippi. These communities thrived on fur trading, and many families saw no reason to abandon what they had built. Meanwhile, industrialization in the American Northeast began attracting settlers as well. For French colonists who struggled with farming in Louisiana or Quebec, the promise of steady work in growing cities was appealing. Among those who stayed in Louisiana, the Creole population stood out as the most prominent. The word Creole, originally, referred simply to anyone born in the colonies rather than in Europe. Over time it included people of diverse racial backgrounds, but most were French-speaking and strongly influenced by French culture. The Creoles blended French, Spanish, African, and native traditions into a unique identity. They formed an essential part of Louisiana society, especially in New Orleans. Even after the Louisiana Purchase, their culture remained vibrant and continues to shape the region today. Evidence of the French legacy still runs deep across the Mississippi Valley and beyond. Cities, towns, and rivers carry French names. New Orleans retains its French Quarter with its bustling markets and lively festivals. Mardi Gras remains one of the clearest expressions of this heritage, drawing people from all over the world. French language, cuisine, and architecture survive as reminders of a time when France sought to carve out an empire in the New World. The Louisiana Purchase not only changed the course of American history, but also altered the destiny of thousands of French settlers, some integrated into the fabric of a rapidly expanding United States. Some carried their traditions northward to Canada or eastward to industrial cities. Others remained in Louisiana, preserving a culture that was neither fully French nor fully American, but something distinct and lasting. In the end, America got the land it needed to grow into a continental power, and the French left behind a cultural imprint that endures 2 centuries later. The story of the Louisiana Purchase is more than a tale of borders, treaties, and dollars. It is also about people who faced difficult choices about identity, survival, and belonging. It reminds us that history is not just shaped by the grand decisions of leaders, but also by the quiet resilience of settlers, traders, farmers, and families, who built lives in a land that was constantly changing hands. The $15 million may have secured territory for the United States, but it was the people, both American and French, who gave the region its character and spirit.